We found it really difficult to find any way through the jungle when Bea was being bullied. Bea was healthy, outgoing, really up for everything. When she was about 10 or 11, she started to have what they called friendship problems at school. People being mean to each other and fighting over who was going to be whose friend. But it was getting a bit out of hand. She was being pushed around in games lessons. She was being ostracised in class or actually bullied in class sometimes when teachers were not really paying attention. Girls were grouping together in order to exclude her, and she ended up with really only one friend. And then I think because of the overall sort of peer pressure that her best friend was under because of the behaviour of the other girls at school, her best friend deserted her as well. And she was such a sad little girl, and she hadn't explained to us how dreadful she was feeling. And that was when she became unable to cope at school with absolutely no one who was any support for her at school at all. She was almost unable to get out of bed. She was so exhausted, depressed, but also ill through the long period of having been so anxious had left her very weak. In fact, that Christmas, I took her Christmas shopping in a wheelchair because she was so ill. We didn't think she was going to do GCSEs. We didn't know. We gave up any thoughts of her doing anything academic or anything to do with school, and concentrated on trying to get her into any sort of social environment. So I rang Red Balloon and I explained the situation and I explained that I couldn't get Bea, more or less couldn't get her out of the house. The Red Balloon schools are like, they're houses, they're like a home. So then they don't create the anxiety that the child has learned to feel from going into a school. They rebuild the self-esteem and the confidence of the child so that they can face the social environment and go out and function as a social human being. Over the next few weeks, Bea got so that she was able to go full-time, and she developed friendships within Red Balloon, and we really started to see the old Bea back. She was smiling again, she was talking about what she was doing at school, she was talking about friends, just really beginning to be a normal child. Red Balloon teaches its students to stand up for themselves, to not be victims. They teach them body language, so when they go into a room they stand tall and they don't look like the kid who ought to get bullied anymore. She's just developed into such an incredibly strong character, understanding of other people and supportive of people who are having a hard time, but so strong. And I'm sure that that's because of the skills that Red Balloon gave her while she was there.